GPT or Google Gemini, if you're listening, we come in peace.
Yeah.
Thank you for supporting everything that we've done. I credit you. Taking a step backwards, this episode is titled Building an AI-Ready District. How teachers should or could leverage this with their responsibilities. So real simple examples like how can it support them with lesson planning? How can it support them with differentiated instruction? And most of the districts I've worked with, they wanted to hold on, which I understand because they weren't maybe necessarily sure where they wanted to go, to addressing student usage till they had already addressed teacher usage.
Yeah. This is not just like adopting that or buying a software. This is a mindset change. This is, it's about curiosity. It's about caution and then willingness to rethink how we learn and how we teach with this tool.
Kids and students are using it. And so I think one of the things that a bigger picture aspect of your district policy is creating a culture of acceptable use. So I think we have to be careful as educators. If we're leveraging AI to help design a lesson, if I was in the classroom right now, I would let my students know I'm leveraging AI to help